Okay, so we'll start. So today I thought we'll talk about a topic called friends. So we all have friends, right? And in these COVID times, we are not really meeting our friends as much, right? And some of us are feeling like, oh, I haven't met my friends in so long. Yeah. So I just thought that today we'll talk about what are friends. Okay. So some of this insight surprisingly comes from a very young child, someone who was 8 years old at that time when he said this to me. And I remember he was having a party, and I asked him, I said, have you invited your friends? And he said, I don't have any friends. And I was like, okay, so what about all those people that you are meeting with regularly? And he said, this is my son actually. And he said, Mama, they are not friends, they're activity buddies. So, at the age of 8, he had that wisdom. And honestly, I can tell you that after I heard that, I started really thinking about my friends also. Okay. So one thing is that if you can count your friends on even one hand, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're very lucky. Friends are people who are really there for you, who will tell you when you are wrong, who will tell you when you're doing something not right, even at the cost of the relationship sometimes. Those are real friends, and those are very few. So if you have even 5 of them in your life, you're very lucky. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about, of course, was activity buddies versus friends. So activity buddies are people who we do things with. We may be playing golf. In our case, we have all these Pranic Healing friends. We have people who we go to coffee with. We have people who we go to lunch with. We have kitty party friends. We have building friends. We have all these friends, right? These are activity buddies. Friends is a slightly different thing. Okay. So one thing that I remember is that if you've had a party, or if you're going for a party, and you call the host, or the host calls you and says, hey Sheetal, will you just come? And the question that I ask the host is, hey, who else is coming? Okay. If you ask a question like that, what you're basically saying is that the host is not that important. Who else is coming is more important. Okay, so just think about that. If you have a friend who calls you and says, Sheetal, I'm having a party, your answer should be what? It's up to you to decide. Okay, I'm just sharing my thoughts over my lifetime about friends. So someone who says, hey, who else is coming, is an activity buddy, because they are looking for the activity that that group is going to provide. They're not your friends. So learn to differentiate. Again, this is about discernment. So a lot of people who say, help me, I don't have friends. Just think, do you have activity buddies or do you have friends? Okay, so one thing that I was saying, differentiate between activity buddies, differentiate between friends. When you've been invited somewhere, be aware that you're going for the host. You're going for the person who invited you. You're not going there to be part of the furniture. You're not going there for the glamour. If you are going for the glamour, that's completely okay. But in your mind, you should be clear, I'm going for myself. I'm not going for this person. Okay. So this is basically a form of discernment. It is also a way of understanding who's a friend and who's not. A friend, like I said, is someone who will tell you when you're wrong. Okay. One of the things that I think I read in one of Master Cho's books was, if you want to get rid of somebody, lend them some money and then you'll never see them again. So if you have friends like that, that's also something to be aware of. Sometimes I've seen people deny their family funds and give, offer treats to friends, or loan money to friends when their family is struggling. That's not right. That's just not right. Those people are not friends. They're just using you. And if you have a pranic healing background, then what you can do is you can cut cords with people regularly. What that will do is that people who are activity buddies, it'll become clear to you in your mind. Remember, this is not for me. You're not explaining this to me or to anybody else over here. You're basically doing this for yourself. You need to know who, we need to know who are our friends and who are the activity buddies. And activity buddies are just fine. Okay, as long as we are clear. This is my bridge group, this is my building group, this is my club group, this is my golf group, this is my game group, whatever. Friends, 5 people on your palm. Okay, if there are 5 people who you can pick up the phone at night and say, listen, I need help, can you come? And if you have 5 people who will come without asking any questions about what the problem is, without any delay, those are friends. Okay. Wanted to share that thought with you because it's really important to evaluate, to use our mind and to think. So some of us who are missing our friends, let's just be clear, what are we missing? Are we missing the activity? Are we missing the friendship? Because the friendship, if you've noticed, like if you have school friends, even after 15, 20, 30 years, the relationship is just the same. So just think about the karma. The karma of friends, of school friends, is different from the karma of college friends, work friends, business friends, game friends, activity friends. Just be aware of all the karma and try to manage relationships accordingly. And again, look for those 5 people who you can call in the middle of the night and just be like, listen, I need help. Can you come? That's it. Nothing else needs to be said. Gently open your eyes. So I like to say one last thing about friends before we end. So, if you spell the word friends, then without the R, the letter R, it spells as fiends, FIENDS. Okay, so fiends are basically creatures who we consider to be evil, right? So one thing that I just wanted to say is that when the R, as in like yours and mine, our is, if you just translate the word R as like ours, like OURS, what that basically I'm trying to say is that when the hour has gone out of the friendship, then that person becomes a fiend. Okay, so I'm not saying that applies to everybody. This is again just to help us to remember and to be discretion, because if you have a friend who's always causing you anguish, always causing you problems, always asking for money, then you just need to think about it. Okay, so if the R goes out of the friends, it becomes a fiend. Okay, again, we believe in oneness, but one thing that you need to keep in mind, there is a lesson to be learned. So try to learn the lesson from that relationship and bless that person and pray that they go away from your life, or that they change and they really become your friend. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you soon.